Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strangebro Jim, and today we're going to be getting back into some Pega studying. We have some Unreal Engine studying after this, videos to upload, and or make public. And then we got Terraria, single player, and multiplayer later on tonight. So if any of those are interesting or give you, if you have any interest in any of those, then feel free to check those out. Especially if you're watching this on, in the video form on my channel. If you're not live right now in my chat, then obviously you're watching it on video later. um, but check out the other playlists that I have, and you know, uh, have a great time. Hopefully, you'll join me in my community. But for today, we're going to be going back over the one topic and the module quiz again because I was clearly struggling with it yesterday. I was thinking that the there was like some additional topics that were um, um, that I needed to kind of cover, but were they felt more like being a challenge than anything else. I don't know why they do those kind of things. It's like, hey, here's some steps that you could do in a challenge, but it's not an actual challenge. So you have to bring up an entirely different, you have to build an instance so that you can actually do it. It's like, then give me an instance to do it. Um, but I don't know. We'll see if they will actually change that in a future update or not. Um, but we need to go back over that one topic again um, because clearly I wasn't really understanding it very well. Like it wasn't like sinking in my brain completely. So when I tried to do um, the module quiz, I was missing a lot of the questions, and that's dangerous. We can't have that. If I take that to certification and I keep on missing those questions, then well, um, I'm not going to pass it very very well. So we need to do better. Okay. So um, so that's my plan for today. Now, you might be wondering, if you're catching this video for the first time, who am I? What are these videos for? And you know, why am I doing it? That kind of stuff. Okay, so I am currently a unemployed software developer whose last job was working in the Pega environment as a contractor in a contracting job. So my uh, uh, my last job gave us an authorized training partner to kind of for us to kind of learn Pega from. However, it really wasn't working out very well. Basically, the majority of us had switched to self-study. Um, even his coworkers knew that we were having troubles, but nothing happened afterwards, even though we were asking to be put back into another training cycle with a different authorized training partner. But yeah, we were basically forced into a contract after that. Um, tried taking the certification for 8.6, didn't pass it because I was already in self-study about that by that point, and I was asking I was asking for, to be put back in so that I can try to learn it, but they forced me into doing the certification early. I wasn't ready for it. I knew that I wasn't ready for it, and I failed it, you know. Um, I mean, if I had gotten 6 more questions right, then and then I would have passed it, passed the certification. But you know, yeah, no, even that's pretty bad overall. Because I mean that's the bare minimum of an understanding of Pega is. So, um, and that doesn't necessarily help you on the job. Not to say that, hey, on the job they should be helping you out learn. You know, the job should be helping you strengthen your knowledge, your abilities, and stuff like that. That's you know, um, there should be someone kind of keeping an eye on what you're doing and going, okay, yeah, that's one way of going about doing it, but maybe you can do it this way, and it'll be a lot faster. It'll be a lot easier. Um, you know, you know, bring out the right result, whatever. Okay, you really should have something like that if you're starting a new job at the very beginning. You know, just saying. Some people don't can't seem to get that in their brain lately. It seems to have kind of been lost somewhere along the line, somewhere down the road. Everybody is like, we're gonna give you to another company that you have to get a contract for just to get your skills. And even then, it's like, well, some of the skills that I learned on my last job were basically basic. I'd already learned it at college. So oh well. But that's who I am. Do not consider me an authorized training partner. Don't consider me an instructor-led training. Those are experts in the Pega field. I'm not an expert. Okay, I'm trying to get my certification much like anybody right now. So, if you want to take the instructor-led training, then go ahead and do so. From what I understand, it's like a 2-week course, so it is jam-packed full of information. Okay, it's $5,000 or so, and that's not exactly cheap, in my opinion. Um, and hopefully they give you everything that you need to know for the certification. I would definitely be asking a lot of questions for it, taking down notes, taking down videos of everything, PDFs, videos, whatever. Whatever you need to do to learn as much as you can, study even outside of class to rehash over what was just kind of discussed because let's face it, they're going to be jamming, you know, I've already shown that um, that a um, these 2 missions, these 2 modules, and these 23 challenges, they give these time estimates, and it takes me a lot longer than their time estimates here. The 17 hours. Well, their training session might be like 8 hours a day or so. So expect, these remaining modules and challenges that I still have to love to do to basically be jammed into an entire day. That's a lot of information to cover. So, just kind of bear that in mind. Now, um, um, one of the things here, let me see about, um, So the system architect, according to the Pega Platform 23's amount here, they have 3 missions, 18 modules, and 17 challenges, all basically contained within the system architect for the Platform 23. They're saying that it will take 1 day, 20 hours, and 30 minutes to complete all of this. Okay. Now, I've already shown that, the 2 missions that I went through took a lot of time to kind of process through, right? So you're looking at 24 hours for the day plus 20 more hours. So in a sense, if you break this down into 8-hour days, you're talking about 5 days, easy, minimum, based off of their time schedule. And believe you me, there, folks, if they're trying to put this all in 2 weeks, yeah, that is a lot of information in 2 weeks. So just bear that in mind there. Okay. They're not in, I'm not getting any endorsement from Pega or anything like that. I'm not asking for any kind of special treatment or anything along those lines, so don't think that from me. Okay. Also, we've covered the business architect for the 8.7. So if you're looking for more of that, then or if you're looking to get your certification in business architect and you're wondering if this video is going to cover any of that, then no, that's already done. You can look through my past videos for that. However, these 2 modules here, they're supposed to cover the Pega Express delivery, and in my opinion, the Pega Express delivery should be reviewed to be absolutely certain that you can cover the 2 modules there. So I'm just saying, the 12% of the certification exam covers the Pega Express. So make sure that you're very much familiar with that. So, but let's get into that one topic again and cover back over it again, because we obviously were struggling with that. Nope, that's the wrong topic, and unfortunately they don't have a way for me to select the next one from here. So let's move on to, there it is, validating data in Dev Studio. So we don't really want to worry about these last 2 here. We want to go into the data validation in Dev Studio again and kind of, learn the nuances between validate rules and edit validate rules, because clearly I didn't get that kind of locked in my brain from last time. So validate rules ensure that the data that your users provide meets the conditions that the case requires in order to go forward. By assigning validation rules to flow actions, you can prevent users from entering information that your application cannot process and reduce the number of processing errors. In Dev Studio, you can extend validate rules that are created automatically in App Studio. You can also create new validate rules in the process category. Okay. So, sure. This makes sense, but how is edit validate rules different? So edit validate rules are typically applied to properties and consist of Java code that compares the value of a property to a defined pattern. For example, an edit validate rule can check whether a property value consists of 7 numbers. with space separating the third and fourth numbers. The pattern match succeeds, the input is considered valid. Otherwise, the system flags the input with an error. Okay, so this is just checking to see whether or not the data is valid. Just is it valid? Great, you move on. Um, you know, did you provide an email address? Yes? Okay, you can move on. Did you provide a phone number? Did you provide a city? Did you provide a state? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you can move on. Edit validate rules applies to the, what's actually kind of placed in that field, you know, um, using a defined pattern. Um, so, um, so while validate rules might be saying, hey, do you have an email address? The edit validate rules would be like, okay, do you have an @ symbol? Do you have um, like the standard ending part of the, and after the @ symbol, like Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever, at the end. Do you have a .com? Do you have a .net? Do you have a um, .org? Whatever. So that might be part of the edit validate rules. So, um, um, now we've already kind of covered this a little bit. Um, Based on data provided by the user. Qualified validation based on the status that the application applies to the case. Based on the action that is performed by the user. And based on the current stage of the case. So, current stages is current stage. Proposed work status is status of the application. Flow action is action. Input is just data by the user. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move on to the module quiz again. And we're going to try again. Last time I was feeling kind of rushed, so. But then again, I was trying to deal with, I was thinking those last two topics were actual topics that I had to kind of go over. So I didn't get to the module quiz until much later. So, for which requirement must you configure a validate rule in Dev Studio? Okay, so we know that we can't have anything that is talking about conforming the input into a pattern. Okay, so it has to be something about, getting the value to be what you need in order to move on to the next, next stage. So, okay, so timesheet submitted by a consultant assigned to a client project must be reviewed by an auditor. This isn't, that's not what you need for a validate rule. Okay, this is more like your, you're putting the timesheet into a work queue, okay, and which will then be put into a work list for the auditor. That's about it for this one, okay, so we don't need to worry about that. An email address is required for a case to enter approval stage. I mean, that seems like it's the correct answer, but again, I think I checked the feedback on that and said no, that wasn't. So I'm not quite sure why this isn't the correct value here, but let's move on to the others here. The value of the date of service field must be no more than 15 days for a critical issue and up to 60 days in the future for an issue with a lower priority. This sounds to me more along the lines of you need to have more like a decision table than anything else. Okay, this one here. Okay, not necessarily a validate rule, but more of a like a decision table. So I don't think that one's the proper one. The amount of transfer between accounts must be greater than 0 and less than available balance of the originating account. I could see this one as a validate rule. Because you're testing the value, and you're testing to see whether or not it matches with if it's kind of within a set parameter. So, but no, apparently that's incorrect. You can configure comparisons between a property value and a constant. But I mean, isn't that what a validate rule is all about? I mean, you're not really doing a comparison. You're doing a check on the. I don't know, man. There's something about this module quiz that doesn't feel right. You need to add a field for a bank routing number into a view. The banking routing number must consist of only numbers 0 through 9, including any leading zeros, which configuration option ensures that the users submit a valid banking routing number. So they're all doing a validate rule on it. You need to make sure that the routing number must consist of only numbers 0 through 9. So, including any leading zeros. But there's no size of the numbers. Okay, so there's nothing like you need to make sure that the digit has to be 9 characters long. This one right here isn't correct. You don't need this one. Configure village, check whether user input consists of only numbers 0 through 9. Okay, sure, that should still work. Configure a validate rule to call an edit validate rule to add leading zeros to any entry that contains fewer than 9 digits. Again, we don't need to worry about the size. You need to add a field for banking run, and the banking runner number must consist of only the numbers 0 through 9, including any leading zeros, which configuration ensures that the user submitted valid banking runner number. You don't have a size here in there, so this one isn't correct. You don't need this. Okay. What about this one? Configure a validate rule to call an edit validate rule that checks whether the user input consists of only the numbers 0 through 9. Okay. This one shouldn't, and that shouldn't be the correct answer either because it's not using a pattern. So you shouldn't need the edit validate rule because you're not doing any kind of pattern to it at all. You're just checking to see whether or not the input is numbers 0 through 9. Okay, so this one should also be incorrect. So these first three values should all be incorrect. So this one should be the only correct answer here. And why is it wrong? I don't understand why that answer right there is the wrong answer. Based off of the topic that they just told me about, or I just reviewed it. Okay, the edit validate rule is all about patterns. There's no pattern that you need to do with checking to see whether or not the numbers are from, all the numbers have 0 through 9 to them. There's no pattern there. So you don't need to worry about an edit validate rule when you're trying to do just checking to see if there's any zeros on it. Okay, there's no size of it. So these two right here are automatically incorrect. So this is the only valid answer, but yet they're marking it wrong. Okay, I'm going to select this one because it's the only other answer that it should be. So I'm going to click next and move on and, we'll see. Case type allows customers to specify a paint color and finish for a painting cost estimate, which configuration prevents users from entering an invalid combination of colors and finishes on a form. Okay. Create a validate rule to test a combination of color and finish. We could do that. Enter, configure an edit validate rule to test a combination of color and finish, which, I mean, you shouldn't necessarily need to do because, again, it's not a pattern. You shouldn't need to worry about the edit validate rule. Configure a decision rule to test a combination of color and finish. No, you shouldn't need that. Create pick lists of the color and finish. You shouldn't need that. So, I mean, these two are outside of the scope of the topic at hand. So, one has to make the assumption that, both of these should be wrong already, unless they're actually trolling us on this, you know. Um, you could do pick lists for color and finish and stuff like that, and you could do that if you really wanted to. Um, or you could do decision rule to test the color, to check the combination of it. I mean, both, I could see you probably doing both of those. I mean, this would take a lot of work to kind of build the pick list there. So, I mean, I don't see why you would use something like that. Um, but I mean, its decision rule, shouldn't be that bad either. But I'm thinking validate rule. And of course, validate rules are evaluated when the assignment is submitted, allowing the user to enter an invalid combination. Okay, hold on. You can also create new validate rules in the process category. You don't need to have this in. You can have this, you can have a validate rule within a process, within the submitting the information. You don't necessarily need to have it, you know, like them filling out all the information and trying to submit it right then and there. So, what is going on here? When it occurs when the user submits the form, you know. Um, but I mean, you can have this being done just from like the um you can have it done like right then and there when they are putting the information into a um inside the um text box itself. So so this isn't correct here. This is okay, well, I guess this is the only one that they're saying is the correct answer there. So, okay, let's let's go back over this and find out what they're trying to do. Okay, so we checked this one and they said that that one's wrong. Why? I don't really know. That should be perfectly fine. I selected this one because I mean that's the only other one that should be valid in this case. Both of these two should be wrong, because we don't have you know, a nine, the statement up here is not addressing the fact that, the entry has to be 9 characters long. Okay, I don't care if it says banking routing number, okay, on there. Um, the if you go to another country, like another nation or something like that, they might have a different banking routing system. Okay, so so both of these should not be correct answers at all. I'm just putting that out there right now. Okay, if they say that either one of these are the correct answer, then this question is wrong flat out. Okay. I don't care what they're even considering talking about. Okay. So this one has to be right, and according to them, this one should be a right answer. Okay. Now, again, I don't think this is correct, um, because there's no format. There's no format in checking to see whether or not it has only the numbers 0 through 9. Okay. Um, there's no pattern. Okay. If the property value consists of 7 numbers with a space separating the third and fourth numbers, then pattern match succeeds and the input is considered valid. There's no pattern in just putting in numbers. There's no pattern there. Okay. I'm not needing to, I'm not needing to check to see whether or not, um, uh, the 9-digit number has 3 digits, 3 digits, 3 digits with a space in between it. There's no pattern there at all. Okay, you're just checking to see whether or not the number is indeed an integer or, an actual number, you know. So you shouldn't need a pattern on it. So I don't think that, I personally don't believe that that's correct. Um, you shouldn't need a pattern for to check for numbers. Okay. Well, um, they're saying that this is correct. Why? I don't really know. Um, you know, there there isn't a there isn't a format to that. You're just entering in numbers. If it has letters, it can you know cancel it out. If it has symbols, it can cancel it out. All it's looking for is numbers in there. You're not looking for a format. So that's why I feel like this one is incorrect. So um, let's move on. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Um, so I tried that one because I thought that that was the correct answer, but they said no. That's not the correct answer. I know that I picked that last answer from last time, and that was my one and only answer. So even they're saying that this is the wrong answer. So they're saying that both of the, and one of these two is the correct answer in this. Decision rule is not on that topic. And pick list is not on that topic. Okay, let me check these other two topics, even though technically they don't have anything. So it was decision. Nope. Pick. No. Okay, so nothing in this topic. Pick list. Nope. Decision. And well, it says decision stage, not a decision rule. So, okay. Okay, so I'm going to say decision rule on this because it's clearly probably the only valid answer here. So I'm going to go next on that one. We'll move on. Okay, so we've already checked this one and it was wrong. We've already checked that one and it was wrong. This isn't the correct answer, or that shouldn't be the correct answer. So this one has to be the only one available that is correct. But why would you use a validate rule for this? Why would you use a validate rule for this at all? You can use a what are they called? You can, well, okay. No, hold on. The goal and deadline isn't the same in this because they're referencing they're referencing a field in this. But why isn't why can't you do the fourth option or the second option? They're just equally as valid. You're kidding me, right? I missed the second question. Okay, so they say that this is correct. They said that This is correct. So they say that this is correct? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I need to take screenshots of this. So, pardon me while I work on this a little bit. Let's see. So I'm going to name this that because this was the second question. Actually, it was the third, but whatever. Um, okay. Okay. Oh boy. Let's try to. Let me go through this. I might be a little late on my Unreal because I want to address all three of these questions because um, this is a bit odd. So, okay, that one. Okay. Um, why is the second answer here the only correct answer? Can you not use a validate rule for the third and fourth answer as well? You are checking on whether the amount listed is greater than 0 and less than the account balance. Sounds like a good validate rule for me. Same with checking whether the form has an email address. How are these answers wrong? Can you please explain? Because the explanations on the feedback isn't giving much. Okay. Next one. All right. Okay. So what makes checking whether the input has only numbers a method of checking for a pattern? I'm not checking whether there are 9 digits. So those answers are clearly out. But from what I understand, a edit validate rule looks for a pattern. How does checking whether there is something other than numbers a pattern? I mean, all you would need to do is use the Java method what is it? It's been a while. Java, it's is digit. Oh, well, I mean, in a sense, this is, you know, you can kind of use that if necessary. Um, um, let's see. I mean, technically, when you're putting a value into a field, it automatically, uh, sets it up as a string. Um, so I mean, its digit is, probably works, but um, uh, um, uh, Java checking if string is integer. So parse int, parse float, parse double, you know, and you are done with the check. You know, that's it. That's all you need to do. There's no pattern in that. You don't need to worry about a pattern here. Um, so why is the answer not the second answer? And I'm going to separate those out. Let me separate those out as well. So it kind of emphasizes the fact that, hey, I'm asking for that particular question there. And then, of course, the last one here. This one is like the most egregious of them all because it's like, why? What is the purpose of this one? You know? Okay. Why is this question even in this um, uh, even in this module quiz? If the answer is for pick lists, then why bother putting it in when the main topic of the module is validate rules and edit validate rules? Plus, wouldn't doing a pick list be one of the worst ways to handle something like that? I could maybe understand a decision table, if anything, because you can make comparisons right then and there. But a pick list? Really? Okay. My God, that's a mess. So, if you agree with them, then, please go ahead and put that in the comment section, or, put it in the chat, or, you know, um, you know, talk about it in the comment section on the video. I welcome any kind of constructive criticism or anything along those lines about this, but I mean, I don't know. This entire module quiz feels like they're just kind of trolling you at this point. I don't know if, it feels as to me like they really screwed up on this module quiz, like through and through. So, um, you know, that's what I feel like. Um, so, as though they don't even realize what they had done previously. So, I don't know. But I gotta move on to Unreal Engine, so we're gonna go ahead and close out this video here. Sorry for it taking longer than expected. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. We're gonna go ahead and move on to Unreal Engine, so look forward to that. Or, if you're watching this on stream, stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute. For those of you watching this on video, check out my other playlists, check out my description, help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and that's it. So take care, have a good night, and I'll see you all next time.